Hey, what is going on, guys? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. So in today's video, I am just going to be giving you guys a little update with the car. So you can see the rear crash bar is all installed with the little foam piece to take in some of the damage if I get in a rear end accident. So I've taken off my side skirts on both sides so I could take off my fenders. Got all that off and reinstalled partially. So I ended up painting my engine bay, finished up with all the body work. I took my welder and patched a bunch of holes that you can no longer see over here and over here. So it's kind of cleaned up a little bit. I'm using this flame-proof VHT very high temperature paint, which is the matte black. So I just used that because it looks half decent. If I don't like the color that it is now, then I am going to go with Rocket Guard. I chose this because it's very high temp, so it can handle a lot of heat. Where the Rocket Guard I thought was not able to withstand high temperatures, but as far as I'm aware, my friend has it on his car, and he's had no issues. So there is still a few spots I have to touch up. But overall, it is all done except for the center piece because I still need to get that welded on, cut off those brackets like I've mentioned a few times now. But I have most of this cleaned up, and I am just basically giving you guys a little update before I go head to work. And I will probably pick this up tomorrow because tomorrow I am doing my brake lines that I have set aside, removing my gas tank, possibly installing my front subframe, depends on how far we get. But yeah, I'm just kind of cleaning all of this up, getting it ready to get sent off to paint before my girlfriend and I end up going to Jamaica away on a trip in July. So I'm kind of just taking care of all this, and by the time we get back, hopefully it's all done. So yeah, that's kind of where the car's at, and like I said, I will pick this up tomorrow. So basically, since that last clip, which was about a day or so ago, I had my friends come by and help me with my car a little bit. We didn't get around to doing too much because, I mean, I haven't seen them in a hot minute, which is probably like 4 months. But yeah, anyways, we got the springs out and the bolt snapped on literally both sides, so we ended up cutting out the shocks, which was stupid because now it's going to be slammed. And so I can't get out the bolts, and I have the coilovers and all that stuff, and I can't get those out. I can't remove the lower control arm because those bolts also feel like they're about to snap, so I'd rather at least try to keep them on as much as possible. And this is kind of the car right now. I didn't like the flat black that was shown in the last clip, so I ended up rocker guarding the engine bay, and I did a few things like my brake booster and my clutch reservoir, as well as my front brake lines, battery, fuse box, and all that stuff. Reinstalled that. I have my engine harness for the headlights all tucked under here. It's kind of in the rail here. It's kind of rotted through, so I have it temporarily in there until I decide to fix those. And basically you see it a tiny bit, so I just need to zip tie these up a little bit and tuck it a little better. And then they're just kind of hanging out right over here for now. But yeah, I got my all-wheel drive transmission, my stock engine that has about 130,000 kilometers on it. I got my fuel tank removed here because I have yet to install the brake lines, because I'm going to wire wheel underneath the car and get all that done. And then I will reinstall the gas tank once I put in the brake lines and clean everything up underneath. So basically, since I am converting this car from automatic to manual, I have my shifter here, which is from my RSX. I currently have my order from eBay, which is the shifter plate to cover this huge asshole that you can see underneath. So I have that coming in within the next week or two. And then in this harness, there is my 2 wires that I need. I believe it's this pink one over here and this green one right here, which is for my reverse signal wires, I believe. I'm just gonna double check with my buddy's video that he sent me because he also has a K-swapped automatic to manual one. And yeah, in regards to the car, I got the brake lines from the master cylinder up front there to all the way underneath. Wire wheeled everything underneath where this is where the gas tank would sit, and then rocker guarded everything, kind of cleaned up everything. Like I said, the trailing arms I'm not too worried about. I'm going to be removing those eventually to put in my aftermarket Hub City Performance trailing arms. I got my steering rack, which came in yesterday, as well as my subframe. So all this, I'm going to give this kind of a rundown. This is a manual rack from a 92 to 95 Honda Civic or Integra, as well as the subframe. The steering yoke is also a manual yoke. And then you got your EK spindles, as well as your EG lower control arms. So I haven't done much more. I need to go order some bolts for my lower control arms because I'm missing a few between selling my black one and buying this one and switching over all of my components. I installed my EKK5 all-wheel drive mounts, at least on the driver and passenger side. I have my rear one, which is over in this box, which is from Hasport. Here you go. Here's kind of the information that is required. So I got those from Garage 16. Most of my parts are from Garage 16. Kind of cleaned it up as much as possible. And then, as I was saying, here's my motor. Transmission. Kind of cleaned up the gas tank a little bit and removed all the rusty debris off the car. And I'm just kind of waiting for the brake lines to show up, as well as the all my other components. I'm kind of thinking next I might buy the headlights because mine are kind of beat, and then I dropped this one when I was kind of tucking the harness and broke off this tab right here. But as you can see, I ordered my tie rod ends so I can connect my steering rack to my hubs, and then my brake lines, of course, for my calipers that are getting rebuilt, and then my shifter plate, which is for inside the car to sit underneath the RSX shifter. And then I paid, what was it, $106 for my manual rack, which is pretty decent because they were going for sale for, I think it was like $200 plus like $300 shipping just about a month ago or so. So this is kind of where I'm at. I finished welding up this front piece here and painting it all finally. So honestly, like, I'm pushing all my weight and this is not budging at all, which is great. Also, right before I end this clip, before installing the subframe, I definitely recommend mounting up your steering rack, because once your steering rack or your subframe is in, it is hard to slide this steering rack in place and put it up inside this little boot hole where you will connect it to your steering column on your wheel. So to save a little bit of hassle and a little bit of work, I definitely recommend installing that and then just jacking up your subframe to put it in. Anyways, if you enjoyed today's video, if you comment, like, subscribe, that'd be greatly appreciated, and see you guys in the next video when I continue doing all the work on this car, whether or not that's brake lines or getting the engine in, or figuring out what else to do with all this stuff. I'm not necessarily in a rush, but I'm definitely going pretty quick with this build.